Scandinavia, a land of stark contrasts and breathtaking beauty, a land carved from ice and stone where nature's raw power is on full display. Here extremes of winter and summer forged a people of resilience adapting to the harshest conditions. Long dark winters and brief explosive summers shaped a culture tough enough to survive anything, and thrive. Towering mountains plunge into deep fjords, forests stretch endlessly, creating a landscape both beautiful and unforgiving. The soil is thin and rocky, making agriculture a constant challenge. Life demanded you be a farmer, fisher, hunter, and forester. Survival was a daily battle against the elements. Every day was a test of endurance and ingenuity, where survival skills were passed down through generations. Small, scattered communities relied on kinship. Loyalty to family and clan was everything, binding people together. There was no unified nation, only chieftains and families vying for land, wealth, and honor, each striving for dominance. Reputation was your most valuable possession, a currency of respect and influence. For generations, these people looked inward, ruled by the seasons and the sea, their lives dictated by nature's rhythms. But the sea was more than a boundary. It was a path to new lands and new destinies, calling the brave and the bold. A storm was gathering in the north, ready to break upon an unsuspecting Europe, changing the course of history. The crucible of Scandinavia was about to unleash a force that would reshape the world, leaving an indelible mark. The Vikings were born from this land of hardship and opportunity, molded by their environment. Their story begins not with conquest, but with survival, a testament to human tenacity. The world was about to learn the true meaning of Viking ambition, as they set their sights beyond the horizon. The age of the Vikings was dawning, a new chapter in the saga of human history. Before they were warriors, the Scandinavians were farmers, tied to the land and the seasons. They coaxed crops from reluctant earth, raised livestock and lived in timber longhouses. Life was hard, and disputes over land or honor could quickly turn violent. Every free man was expected to defend his family and property. The axe and spear were both tools and weapons. Warrior culture was woven into daily life, not as a profession, but as a duty. As populations grew and land became scarce, younger sons sought fortune elsewhere. Tales of wealthy, poorly defended lands to the south and west tempted them. The skills of farming, hunting, and loyalty became the skills of raiding. The sword was picked up alongside the plowshare. Raiding became a new path to power and prestige, transforming both men and history. The Viking Age was born from necessity, opportunity, and ambition. The Viking longship was the key to their world, a masterpiece of design and engineering, unlike anything seen before in Europe. It was the product of centuries of innovation, blending tradition with daring new ideas. Built with overlapping oak planks, these ships were strong, flexible, and alive on the water. The clinker-built hull allowed them to flex with the waves, making them both durable and swift, able to withstand the harshest northern seas. Their shallow draft let them sail oceans and rivers, striking deep into enemy territory. No other ship could match their ability to slip silently up rivers or cross open seas with equal ease. Longships could land on any beach, unleashing warriors with breathtaking speed. This gave the Vikings a tactical advantage, allowing them to appear where least expected, and vanish just as quickly. Powered by sail and oar, they were fast, maneuverable, and nearly impossible to intercept. Crews could row for hours or harness the wind, adapting to any challenge the journey demanded. The prow, often carved into dragons or serpents, struck fear into enemies and protected the crew. These fierce figureheads were believed to ward off evil spirits and intimidate all who saw them. These ships were more than tools of war. They were symbols of status and the Viking spirit. To own or command a longship was a mark of honor, a sign of power and prestige in Viking society. Longships were homes, fortresses, and chariots for their crews. Life aboard was harsh but fostered a unique camaraderie, as men ate, slept, and dreamed beneath the open sky. Without them, the Viking Age would never have happened. The longship made possible the raids, the trade, and the exploration that defined an era. The longship was the engine of expansion, carrying Viking culture across the world. From the coasts of North America to the rivers of Russia, their reach was legendary. It was the vessel of their fury and their dreams. Every voyage was a leap into the unknown, driven by ambition and the promise of new worlds. The revolution in wood changed history, leaving a legacy that still inspires awe today. Building a longship was a feat of communal skill, from selecting the perfect oak to shaping each plank by hand. Life aboard was harsh. No shelter, just open decks, sea chests and shields hung along the sides. Crews survived on dried fish and hard bread, bound by shared hardship and purpose. The longship was designed for one thing: lightning-fast raids. Imagine a dragon-headed ship emerging from the mist, warriors storming ashore before any defense could be mounted. Villages, monasteries, and trading posts fell to swift, brutal attacks. The Vikings vanished as quickly as they came, leaving terror and devastation behind. For their victims, it was as if supernatural forces had struck. The longship gave the Vikings surprise and mobility no one could match. This ability to strike anywhere made the Viking Age a time of fear and transformation. The longship was the ultimate weapon of the North. On June 8, 793, the holy island of Lindisfarne was shattered by violence. Once a beacon of faith and learning, Lindisfarne seemed untouchable until the longships arrived. The monks, unarmed and unprepared, faced a terrifying onslaught. Raiders stormed the monastery, seizing gold, silver, and holy relics, killing or enslaving the monks. For the Vikings, this was not sacrilege, but opportunity. Churches were storehouses of wealth, not sanctity. The news of Lindisfarne's fall sent shockwaves through Christian Europe. Chroniclers called it a terror never before seen, a sign of divine punishment. Lindisfarne was more than a raid, it was a declaration. The Vikings had arrived, and nowhere was safe. The age of the Vikings began with blood and fire. Europe would never be the same. The world now knew the fury of the North. The Viking legend was born in blood. Lindisfarne was just the beginning. Monasteries and towns across the British Isles and Europe soon faced the same fate. The Vikings sailed up rivers, striking at the heart of kingdoms, Paris, Nantes, even deep into Germany. The Frankish Empire and others found themselves vulnerable to these sudden attacks. The psychological impact was immense. The Vikings seemed unstoppable, almost supernatural. A new prayer echoed in churches: "From the fury of the Northmen deliver us, O Lord." Raids forced kingdoms to adapt, building fortifications, navies, and new defenses. The Viking threat reshaped Europe's political and military landscape. The terror of the Vikings forced a continent to change. The age of raiding had begun and no coast was safe. The Viking was not just a raider but also a merchant and trader. The same ships that carried warriors also carried goods. Plunder became trade. Vikings sailed east as well as west, establishing trade routes across Russia to Byzantium and the Arab world. They traded furs, ivory, iron, and slaves for silver, silks, and spices. Market towns like Hedeby and Burka became multicultural hubs of commerce. The line between pirate and trader was often blurred. Vikings were savvy, cosmopolitan operators, not isolated barbarians. Their trade networks spanned continents, connecting cultures and economies. The Viking story is as much about creation and connection as it is about destruction. They were merchants of the waves, shaping a global network. The Vikings soon shifted from raiding to settling, seeking not just wealth but land. Large armies arrived in England, conquering and settling vast territories. The Danelaw was born. They founded towns, farmed the land, and left their mark on place names and culture. In France, Rollo's followers became the Normans, adopting local customs but keeping their spirit. Viking descendants would later conquer England in 1066, bringing their legacy full circle. They settled the Faroe Islands, Iceland, Greenland, and even reached North America. The Vikings were not just destroyers but explorers and nation builders. Their courage and vision pushed the boundaries of the known world. They created new societies wherever they went. The Viking legacy is one of both conquest and creation. By the 11th century, the Viking Age faded as Scandinavia unified and Christianized. The once fragmented lands gradually came together under powerful monarchs, and the old pagan beliefs gave way to the spread of Christianity, transforming the very fabric of society. Stronger kingdoms and formidable defenses ended the era of easy plunder. Fortified cities and organized armies made raids less profitable and far more dangerous, forcing the Vikings to adapt or disappear. Vikings assimilated into the cultures they once raided, but their impact endured. They settled, intermarried, and became part of the very societies they had once threatened, leaving a lasting legacy. They redrew Europe's map, helped form kingdoms like England and Russia, and created Normandy. Their influence shaped the political landscape of Europe for centuries to come. Their trade routes connected distant worlds, fostering economic and cultural exchange. Goods, ideas, and technologies flowed along these routes, enriching both East and West. Old Norse words and place names remain embedded in modern languages and landscapes. Even today, echoes of their language can be found in towns, rivers, and everyday speech. The Viking was more than a warrior. He was a farmer, explorer, poet, and craftsman. Their skills in shipbuilding, storytelling, and agriculture helped them thrive in harsh environments. Their story is one of violence, courage, and resilience. Through hardship and adversity, they forged a reputation that still fascinates us today. From their harsh homeland, they changed the world forever. The challenges of their environment shaped their character and drove them to seek new horizons. Their saga continues to inspire, echoing across 1,000 years. The tales of their journeys and deeds are still told, capturing imaginations around the globe. To understand them, we must also look to their myths, Odin, Thor, and Loki. These stories reveal their hopes, fears, and the mysteries of their world. In their legends we find the wild, untamable spirit of the Vikings. Their myths are filled with adventure, heroism, and the eternal struggle against fate. The age of the Vikings may have ended, but their story lives on, etched in stone, sung in sagas, and remembered wherever their spirit endures.